How's it going, folks? So in my previous video, I addressed a question that was brought up by somebody on Quora who was really not happy that their roommate owned a firearm and had the firearm in the same domicile as they did. Now, Jinx Jen brought up some really great points in the comment section, and I want to address them in this video, actually. So, obviously, with the first one, I don't know why they didn't have the discussion beforehand, namely the person that had a problem with the firearm being in their home. Usually, if you have a problem with something, so much so that you cannot have this particular item in your home, it's on you to let any potential roommates know, hey, look, if you're going to stay here, these are my rules. Or, hey, look, we might be getting this place together, but I just wanted you to know that I don't want this particular item in this place. You know, like if somebody doesn't like clowns, so much so that they cannot stand the thought of having a clown in the same home that they are in, they need to bring that up with anybody who they might be becoming roommates with before they become roommates, instead of becoming roommates and then later on finding their roommate is actually a juggalo. So, yeah, the onus is on this person right here. Now, the next point you bring up is a very good point. It's a very valid point. And the fact of the matter is that if you have multiple people living in one house or one apartment, and one's a firearm owner, it could be the case that somebody else in the place should not have access to the firearm. Um, that actually can be dealt with without actually having to take the firearm from the domicile entirely. If you buy a handgun, any new handgun you purchase is most likely going to come with a hardened case. It's going to come with a spots on the hardened case to where you can put locks on, and it can secure it that way. If the owner of the firearm is not in possession of the handgun, I understand that. Yeah, there are exceptions to the rule. My FNX 45 tactical came in this canvas case. However, hardened cases for firearms can be purchased at any gun store, or most gun stores, I should say. Just the same with most sporting goods stores, they'll sell them. Pelican cases are a great brand. So there's that option. So if the firearm owner is not in positive control of the firearm, it needs to be locked up in the hardened case. Now, if it's a situation to where you need to take some additional precautions, maybe a gun case is not the best option. You need a gun cabinet. Those are less mobile, generally more secure. And if you really want to go up to the next level would be a gun safe. Usually those take a dolly to move. They're more secure than a gun cabinet by far, and they have some sort of fire resistance in most cases, just in case the domicile catches fire. So there are methods to mitigate this in the event you have somebody in the domicile that really shouldn't have access to the firearm due to legal issues, behavioral issues, mental health issues, or maybe they're just a small child that just won't follow instructions. Now, the third issue you bring up, man, and I agree. I mean, I've had the discussion with you. Yes, I agree that person was an absolute retard for pointing the firearm at you. Most people who own firearms are responsible. They follow the four cardinal safety rules, and you generally don't have quite a problem with them. The problem lies with the assholes that don't want to follow the rules. Um, or sometimes you have people who are either new firearm owners or complacent, and sometimes they have a little bit of a faux pas in their judgment and inadvertently break a firearm safety rule. But generally, those people you can say, hey, look, no, watch where you're pointing that thing, or hey, get your finger out of the trigger well, and they usually correct that themselves. The good thing about the firearm safety rules, the cardinal rules, is they're redundant, and you have to break multiple of them at one time, usually, if you want to have a bad accident. Unfortunately, again, as I say, while you have most people who are responsible and safe firearm owners, you have the people who just seem like they don't really give a shit about following the firearm safety rules. And those people, once I recognize them, I generally am a little bit more forceful in correcting, like, hey, dumbass, don't do that. A, don't point that at anybody. If they keep on that path where they just don't care, I'll say, look, that's it. Do it again, and I'm notifying the police. If they still want to keep on that path, I mean, that all you can do at that point is notify the police. You know, and yes, the police probably are, if they come out there, there's a good chance that they're probably going to press criminal charges against that person. They might not. However, there are cases where they will do that. Unfortunately, that's on them for breaking the firearm safety rules and not carrying. And it's better that they get the charges placed on them for doing that, as opposed to having somebody have an impromptu trip to the ER or an early trip to the grave, when that could have been avoided entirely. People who do that, who just refuse to follow the four cardinal safety rules, are absolute jackasses. And in my book, I don't have any fucking respect for them. They put innocent people in danger, and they make it a lot harder for the rest of us who want to legally possess firearms to do so. They give the gun controllers ammunition to go after us, and quite frankly, I don't have any use for those types of people. And yes, somebody who does that, it's either, it's really with that point with me, I'm not going to share a room with them. I'm not going to let them stay at my place. If I have to, I'll go through the paperwork to evict them. But yeah, or if they're the primary person on the lease or they're the tenant, I'd move out, because I'm not going to share a place with them. I'm not going to do business with somebody like that. And neither should anybody else have to put up with that crap. Thank you all for watching. You all take it easy and have a great day.